So let us go and start our today's session. So let me introduce myself. I do have around 8 years of experience into QA. I worked into manual testing. I worked on QTP tool, and presently I'm working on Selenium with Java as well. I used to provide training, online training on Selenium with Java, Selenium with .NET, and Selenium with Ruby as well. Okay, and my training experience is something around 5 years. I work for a level 5 organization over here. Okay, fine. So this was my introduction, and since I used to go and provide training for US, UK, and Australian people over here through online, and fine. Then let us go, and that was pretty much information about me. So let us go and start our today's session. So hold on, let me go and share my screens with you as well. So see, when it comes to Cucumber is not a different content which we are, different tool or different. It is something different which we are going to learn. It is a framework. Cucumber is nothing but a framework. Okay. So in our training session, we are going to learn about data-driven, keyword-driven, hybrid-driven Cucumber frameworks. We are going to design effective frameworks over there in our training session, and we are going to drive our scripts. Understood? So basically, if it comes to the Cucumber part, yes, we are going to cover Cucumber concepts as well over here in our training session, but not now. Okay, you should know what is this Ruby, how you are going to work with Ruby, how you have to go and write the scripts, how you are going to open the browser, how you are going to put some values over there in it. Okay, how you are going to work with the APIs, how you are going to take the snapshots, how you are going to perform mouse over events. Okay, how you are going to handle pop-ups and all this. Once everything is done, then we can go and work with the designing of the Cucumber framework, or whatever the framework you are interested. You understood? So if you don't know how to work with a WebDriver, or what are the commands that we are going to work with the WebDriver as well, then obviously there is no use of learning Cucumber, okay, in the initial part, right? So if you are pretty much aware of Ruby scripting, and if you are going to if you know all the web-based applications, WebDriver API commands over there, then obviously in that case we can go ahead and learn Cucumber directly. All right. So since this is a demo session, I just want to go and have a brief overview of what is the Selenium and all this, because we are using this Ruby. Ruby is nothing but scripting, okay, wherein we are going to design some scripts and we are going to try to automate over there. Okay, over here what we are going to do is we are going to work with, now in order to work with Selenium, you need to go and install some gem files over there, okay, in your Ruby. So once you have your Ruby installed in your system, you have to go and install your gem files. Gem files are nothing but the files which are supporting to our which are supporting us to go and work with the WebDriver and Selenium RC and all this. Okay, hold on, let me go and all right, could you able to see my screen now? Hello? So let us go and have a brief overview of what is Selenium. Okay, initially we will go and see what is Selenium and all this, then we will go and work with the Ruby and all. Okay, so fine. So let us start with the Selenium. So basically, why we are going to Selenium? What is Selenium? Okay, if it comes to the basic part of Selenium, what is Selenium? Why we are going to choose Selenium as an automation tool? Okay, nowadays, because okay, let me go and start with the manual testing. So basically, what is the difference between a manual testing and automation testing? Because you are pretty much aware of this manual testing and all this, right? Hopefully. So what is manual testing? It's performing testing on the application or product with the help of some human interaction is called manual testing. So there in manual testing, you are going to interact with the application and you are going to test the application, right? When coming to automation testing, is it something that is apart from manual testing? No, obviously no. Okay, so to be frank, we are going to execute the same test cases and follow the same test steps. Whatever we are going to do in manual testing, we are going to execute the same in automation, but with the help of scripting. Okay, that is we are going to write some code over there and we are going to drive it. That's it. Okay, that is what we are going to perform automation. So performing testing on the application with the help of some third-party tool is called an automation testing. You understood? According to the definition wise. Okay. So that is what we call it as a manual testing and then automation testing. Now Ratna, what we are going to look into is the Selenium. So how many automation tools are there? If you go and look into the market, there are n number of automation tools over there in the market. But preferably Selenium and QTP are the most predominantly used tools by our organizations and are recommended by the clients as well. Why? Because these tools are more effective and more reliable, and then we can go and easily go and get a lot of um, we can easily go and get a successful results over there by using these tools. And when coming to Selenium, yes, Selenium has got more advantages when compared with QTP. Now let us go and see, okay, what is the Selenium, what is the history of the Selenium, and what are the advantages and disadvantages of Selenium tool as well. All right, Ratna, are you able to follow me? And if you think that my conversation is going a bit faster, you can go and stop it over there. You can ask me to go and slow down. Okay, okay, sounds good. All right, Ratna. So coming to Selenium, Selenium is a functional regression testing tool for the web-based application. Yes, when I say functional regression testing tool, what do you mean by functional? What do you mean by regression? Okay, functional testing is performing testing on the application with respect to the functionality. It's called functional testing. That is, let us say as a manual test engineer, you might be pretty much aware of this functional testing. What is that we are going to do? Let us say I'm going to fill a form over there, and there is a submit button wherein I have to go and click on it. Now once I click on the submit button, it should save all the data in the form, and then it should go and navigate me to some other page, right? So something that is something called as a functionality. And then the regression testing. What do you mean by regression testing? So we are going to design this regression test suite over there, wherein I do have all the regression test cases along with the regression test scripts. And before going to release the build. What do you mean by build over there, team? Build is nothing but the updated code in the development or the QA server. So what we are going to do, these development people will be working in the development server, QA people will be testing over there on the QA server, and client will be testing on the application on client server. So development people, once they have done with their enhancements, they are going to move the build. We used to call them as build team. The recent code changes, or we used to call the code as build. Okay, so the development team are going to move the build from the development server to the QA server. So we are not going to call it as a move. We used to call them, in the technical terminologies, we used to call them merge. Okay, so development team is going to merge the build from the development server to the QA server, and we are asked to go ahead and test the application, whatever the development team has made the enhancements in the application. What do you mean by enhancements? Enhancements in the sense the recent modifications in the code, recent future changes over there which are designed by our development team, and we are going to test it. We are going to validate it whether it is working fine as per the client requirements or not. So that is something called as we are going to perform some testing over there. And coming to the regression testing, what we are going to do, we are going to pick some of the functional test cases and some of the failed test cases, and we are going to write the automation scripts over there, and then we are going to execute it in the automation. Okay, by using different source tools like like Java or .NET or Ruby or Python, Pascal. Okay, if you know any one of this technical language, you can easily go and work with Selenium. Okay, so let us go and see. Selenium is a functional regression testing tool for the web-based application. Yeah, so in regression testing, what happens is we have designed all the scripts over there, and we have to go and execute it. Now, at what times we are going to execute it? The time when I am going to, when my development team are asked to merge the build from the development server or the QA server to the UAT server. That is UAT in the sense the user acceptance testing. And who is going to work on this UAT servers team? Basically, is the client who is going to work on it. He is going to test the applications. If there are any defects that we are consider that are raised by the client, we are going to consider it as a production defects. You got it? Okay. So we should ensure that there should not be any production defects over there which are raised by the client. Okay. So at that time, if you want to go and move the build from the development server to the QA server, so we are going to perform one iteration of regression testing over there. Okay. So we are going to perform regression testing. Now, what does this regression testing contains? What are the test cases that it contains in regression? In regression, we used to have all the functional test cases along with the failed test cases which are in manual. Okay, when I'm going to test the application manually, what are all the test cases which are failed over there, we are going to consider we are going to pick it up and we are going to write the scripts and we are going to try we will try to go and automate it as well. Okay, and basically Selenium is a web-based application. Yes, when I say web-based application, Selenium tool only supports the browser applications. We cannot go ahead and automate any of the applications if it is a Windows-based application. I think you might be pretty much aware of what is web-based and what is Windows-based application. The Selenium has been developed by Jason Huggies and team, and Jason Huggies and team are the Java development team, and they used to work for a company called as a ThoughtWorks company in the year 2004. So Jason Huggies and team since they are the Java developers, so what is the type of the testing this Java developers are gonna do? They are going to perform unit testing over there. Okay, why they are going to perform unit testing? Because before going to merge the build from the build, what do you mean by build? Build is nothing but the code. Okay, before going to merge the build from the development server to the QA server, or before going to move the code from the development server and to the QA people, what these people are going to do is they are going to test the functionalities whether it is working fine or not. So that type of testing, that we call it as a unit testing. Okay, so we are going to name it as unit testing. So unit testing is done by the development people in their development servers only. Okay, so this Jason Huggies and team, in order to perform unit testing on the product which they have worked on, okay, he have designed a framework over there. Okay, so that the framework is going to automatically perform the testing activity over there in their product. Okay, and they don't have to go and perform some of the testing activity, because everything is scripted over there, and they can easily go and automate their applications. Fine. So the original name of the Selenium tool is JSFT. What is JSFT? JSFT stands for JavaScript Functional Testing. I repeat, JavaScript Functional Testing. Okay, then Selenium supports multiple languages like Java, .NET, PHP, Perl, Ruby, Python, Pascal, etc. Yes, Selenium is going to support multiple languages, n number of languages over there. Not n number of languages, probably preferable languages over there which are very familiar. So these are all the technologies. Java is one of the technology, .NET is one of the technology, Ruby, Perl, Python, PHP, all these are different technologies. So if you know any one of this technical language, you can easily go ahead and work with Selenium. Okay, but when you go and look into the market as well, preferably 90% of the organizations are looking for Selenium with Java, 5% of the organizations are looking for Selenium with .NET, and the remaining XYZ percentages are looking for Selenium with PHP, Perl, and Ruby. Okay, because not all the applications are built in. If you are going to pick Ruby over there, not all the applications, not all the projects are going to be work on Ruby with Rails. Okay, if the application has built on Ruby with Rails, Ruby on Rails, then only we are going to ask to go and automate the scripts with Ruby scripting. If not, 90% of the people are going to be look into Selenium with Java as well.